When most Americans go to bed on the night of Saturday, March 7th, 2026, something small but significant will happen. At 2 a.m., clocks will jump forward to 3 a.m. It's the moment people call spring forward. 1 hour disappears, morning arrives darker, but evening sunlight lasts longer. For millions of people, the change means losing an hour of sleep. For others, it means longer evenings outside. But to understand why that 1 hour shift happens every year, you have to go back more than a century because daylight saving time was never really about sleep schedules. It was about energy, war, business, and the complicated relationship humans have with time itself. The earliest ideas behind daylight saving time date back to the 18th century. One of the most famous references comes from Benjamin Franklin, who wrote a satirical essay in 1784 suggesting people could save candles by waking earlier to use sunlight. Franklin was joking, but the idea lingered. The modern proposal for changing clocks came later during the industrial age. In the late 19th century, societies were becoming more structured around factory hours, train schedules, and standardized workdays. A New Zealand scientist named George Vernon Hudson proposed adjusting clocks to create more usable evening daylight. Later, a British builder named William Willett campaigned for a similar idea in the early 20th century. But the world did not seriously adopt the concept until a global crisis forced governments to reconsider energy use. That crisis was World War I. In 1916, Germany became the first country to introduce daylight saving time as a way to conserve coal used for lighting. Other European countries quickly followed. In the United States, Congress adopted daylight saving time in 1918 as part of the Standard Time Act, which also established the nation's modern time zone system. The logic seemed simple. If people used more daylight in the evening, they would burn fewer lamps at night. But the policy immediately sparked controversy. Many farmers hated it. Agriculture depends on sunlight, not clocks. Livestock do not adjust their schedules when the government changes time. The backlash was strong enough that after World War I ended, the United States repealed national daylight saving time. For the next few decades, the country entered what historians sometimes call the time chaos era. Cities and states made their own decisions. Some observed daylight saving time, others did not. Start dates and end dates varied widely. Two neighboring towns might operate on different clocks. This created major problems for transportation and broadcasting. Train schedules became confusing. Air travel later faced similar issues. Radio and television networks struggled to coordinate programming across regions. Then came another global crisis. During World War II, the United States introduced year round daylight saving time known as wartime. The goal was again tied to energy efficiency and wartime productivity. For the duration of the war, the entire country stayed on daylight saving time. But when the war ended, the system collapsed again into regional choices. The confusion continued until the federal government stepped in with a major reform. In 1966, Congress passed the Uniform Time Act. This law created a standardized national system for daylight saving time. It set consistent start and end dates across the country while allowing states to opt out entirely if they chose. The law also gave authority over time zone boundaries to the U.S. Department of Transportation. For the first time in decades, the country had predictable rules, but daylight saving time itself was still debated. During the 1970s energy crisis, Congress experimented with extending daylight saving time in hopes of reducing energy consumption. The results were mixed. While some studies suggested modest energy savings, critics argued that darker winter mornings created safety concerns, especially for children walking to school. Eventually, the United States returned to the seasonal system. The most recent major change came in the Energy Policy Act of 2005. Beginning in 2007, daylight saving time was extended by several weeks. Instead of starting in April, it now begins on the second Sunday in March. Instead of ending in late October, it ends on the first Sunday in November. That schedule is the one Americans still follow today, which brings us back to March 8th, 2026. At 2 o'clock in the morning, clocks will move forward 1 hour across most of the country, but not everywhere. Two states have chosen not to participate in daylight saving time at all. Arizona and Hawaii remain on standard time year round. Arizona made that decision largely because its desert climate already experiences intense summer heat. Longer evening daylight would simply extend the hottest part of the day. Hawaii, located closer to the equator, experiences very little seasonal daylight variation, making the clock change unnecessary. Over the years, the debate about daylight saving time has never truly ended. Supporters argue that longer evening daylight encourages outdoor activity, shopping, and recreation. Opponents point to sleep disruption, darker winter mornings, and the health effects of changing clocks twice a year. Some lawmakers have proposed making daylight saving time permanent. Others argue the country should remain on standard time all year instead. For now, the current system remains in place, and every spring and fall, millions of Americans adjust their clocks by 1 hour. It's a small shift on the surface, but behind that 1 hour is more than a century of history, debate, and changing priorities. From wartime energy conservation to modern lifestyle habits, daylight saving time reflects how societies constantly try to shape time itself. And every year, when clocks jump forward in March, that long and complicated history quietly repeats itself.